Hey guys, how's it going? Paul Harris here. Welcome back to another one of my videos. Now this was actually a request, and that is to go through a typical day as a finance business partner. So obviously this is going to help you if you're thinking about becoming a finance business partner. Maybe you're working in controllership or finance analyst in FP&A team, and you're thinking about moving into a more commercially orientated role. This should give you a pretty good idea of a typical day. Okay, so that being said, what does my role actually involve? Because you have to understand what my role involves to understand how my typical day goes. So the way that my partnering role is split down is mainly I partner with different regions from around the world. The way our company is set up is, say you'll have a sales team in India, and that sales team will be managed by a customer manager. Say if you take like Sri Lanka and India together, they'll combined have a manager which is called an area manager. Now, if you take lots of different areas, so India and Sri Lanka, and then you take like China and you take Hong Kong, all those together will be managed by a regional sales manager or regional customer manager, RCM. And I will partner with a number of regions, so I'll partner with a number of RCMs. As part of my role, what does partnering actually mean? Well, what it actually involves is a number of things on an ad hoc basis. So if any of those employees need to be changed, then I will have to put a case forward. I'll have to find how much their salary should be. We have to agree a whole process that goes through a whole approval process. If, for instance, that a business case is needed, so in some regions, for instance, we don't use internal sales staff. We'll use something called a GSA, which is a global sales agent, and that needs to be agreed what sort of incentive plan they'll be on, and that'll have to go through a business case. But there's effectively two sides to this equation. There's the partnering that I do where I'm assisting with the sales, but there's also, which is inevitably my manager's manager, which is the CFO, and I'm trying to instruct her of the performance of the company as well. So this is how my day is structured with that in mind. Thursdays is very much a day where I report how the entire company is performing to the key stakeholders of the business, so the CFO, the commercial directors. So part of my day is a lot of having meetings. So at 8:30, what I will do is run a report from our MIS system, so our management information system. And I'll basically download a huge set of data on how we've been performing since the year started, with a specific interest in mind in the last week of that year. And I'm effectively downloading that report, which is a huge set of data, into an Excel document that I've been able to custom make that gives out and draws all the data that I need to be able to analyze how we performed in that specific week against a benchmark of all the previous weeks. So that's what I do between 8:30 and 9. 9 o'clock till 10, I'll have a meeting with one of the regions, so Asia Pacific. What the meeting looks like specifically is we go around each of the different area managers, so the people who manage like India, the people who manage China, and they give their internal report of how that specific area did within that week. And what I'm doing in this meeting is basically jotting down and writing down everything that I can that gives me a summary of the key bits of information that show how that region has performed financially. Okay, so then from 10 till about 10:30, I have my own internal finance meeting, which is with my team, where we have, different commercial business partners that we come together and we pretty much do a brief half-an-hour meeting every day where we discuss what's going on, what the sort of news is within the finance team, what's going on across the business, and that normally takes about half an hour. We talk about like what we're going to be doing that day, just to have a recap. Okay, so because I'm reporting the entire business's revenue on this day, and I do this via email, that takes a long time to actually write up. Part of it is actually to report a different stream of revenue from what the regions are providing me. So this is a subsection of our revenue, and that's what I prepare between 11 or 10:30 till 12. So I prepare this email response that gets sent out to the company saying a different stream of revenue, which I compile from a different person who sends me an email response, and I have a meeting with them to actually compile a different sort of tracker of how this other revenue stream is performing. Then from 12 till 1, we basically have a complete commercial team meeting. This is when all the RCMs, this is when all the different regional commercial managers from across the world then get together on a sales call, and then from 12 till 1 there's a meeting where we talk about the performance of the entire company, and they give their expectation of what they're going to do next week. And as a result of that expectation, they're giving their commentary on why they think they're going to perform that well, what the sort of key metrics are of that of how they performed last week. So I'm really compiling all this data together. I'm having to make frantic notes during this time. I'm having to reference the report that I made right at the beginning of the day to make sure that the commentary I'm getting is key to that day. And that's what I'm thinking during on the call between 12 and 1. After that, so from about 1 to 1:30, I generally get lunch, nothing that interesting there. Then I really start producing the emails and all the reference packs and the PowerPoint presentations, and I'll be referencing a load of different data from across the business. So when people say like, well, what are you actually doing? Are you filling in reports? Are you filling in Excels? It is a lot of Excel work, and it's Excel work driven from a huge array of reports. So there's certain reports that I'm able to download from MIS, our reporting system, and that comes in a huge data sheet, and then I'm able to compile into different data models that I've been able to make. But some of it is other reports that are either on our Tableau system, so Tableau is another reporting system. Then you'll have Salesforce, which is more of a commercially generated reporting system that gives more commercial factors. So I'm using a whole load of reports that give me financial information from how we've performed in the previous week, and I'm trying to build up a story. So I'm trying to look at the different product types, I'm trying to look at the different regional mixes, what sort of regions generate the best type of yield, trying to think about if it's something that's volume driven or we've been able to sell things at a higher price, and really try and compile a story. Now, part of the day might sound like there's just a load of meetings, a load of Excel work. There's a lot of thought process that goes into trying to understand how you can properly sell a story. So when you're trying to analyze data, it's not good enough to just go, oh, this region's performing really well, or this product type's performing really well, because you might have expected that product type to perform really well. So why is it that we're performing even better than what you first anticipated? And I think that's missing a lot with some people's information and analysis, is they'll just pick out key bits of information, but there's more to it, because the reason why it takes a lot more thought process, and it's what sort of makes it more interesting, is you have to really sit down and go, for me to be able to analyze the results against last year, I need to know what exactly happened last year. Then you have to analyze last year to know what happened this year. And there's a lot of that sort of process going on. So from about 1:30 till about 4:30, I could literally just be compiling and create an email or a PowerPoint presentation that really just explains the story of what happened last week. Then from about 4:30 onwards, and that's to go anywhere up till about 6:30, 7, because Thursday is a particularly busy day for me, and that's not even factoring in if it's a month end, which means I'd have to do more journals and other reports and other actuals reporting for the previous month. So assuming it's not a month end procedure, from 4:30 to about 5:30, 6:37, I will be producing another load of Excel reports that are like tracker data that it gets reported to our group position. So we're part of a subsidiary of a larger group. So I'll then have to prepare similar sets of data in a different format to then report to our group how we've performed in that week or that month, or where we think we're going to be performing that month based on the weekly information. So if we're in week 31 of the year, then you have to compile all the weeks that make up the month and have to give a forecast based on what the sales team is saying to then generate something to the group of how we're going to do as a business. So that's a lot of what my day's like on a Thursday, is compiling a load of information. Now, what else happens around that day? Well, as you can see, there's a lot of reports. Reports need to be built around your specifications and how you like to use reports and how you find it easiest to analyze information. Now, this is how I've got the better at Excel than probably a lot of people. If a lot of people enter a company, they may have entered the company and inherited a certain report that they've never really enjoyed or never really liked, doesn't think it's very user-friendly, but they just stick with it until they move on to another area of the company where they pick up another report. I get a report and then instantly go, what am I trying to do using this report? And then I go, well, this is rubbish. And then a lot of the time around the other part of the week, I'll spend developing this report so I can get the information as a data list, as a standardized report from our reporting system, I can copy and paste it into another Excel document and it instantly generates the report I need. That means when it comes to the Thursday, or when it comes to other days, that's part of the process is sped up so much quicker. I can then take on more work and generate, get through a lot more information and understand the information a lot more quickly because I'm developing this report. So a lot of the other days are spent with process improvement, or say I have like a graduate now that assists me on certain days, so he can produce a lot of the reports that I then use to analyze the information. And I've done another video in the past where I think I did a subcert. I entered in a video from Steve Jobs where he said the best managers are people who didn't ever want to be managers. They just became managers because they wanted to get more work done. And I think this is always the best way of thinking, is like, how can you actually in a day spend more time producing more output? And that to me is created by improving reports from a financial perspective, improving reports to a point where you can't really improve them very much more, but you can delegate that work over so someone else can produce the reports, either be it like an offshore data team or using a different data team from internally, or delegating the work to someone more junior. And that allows you to free up time to then improve another process and take on more work. And as you do that, you start having to take on other work from across the business, or partnering with different parts of the business, which then allows you to see different angles of that company, and you start to get a lot broader view of how the business is performing. That's basically what I do on a Thursday. That's a typical day. Lots of meetings, lots of sort of data, lots of Excel, lots of passing information on, and trying as a finance role, as a back office role, and really a lot of it is about understanding financial information and passing it on to make senior leadership a lot more informed, to make better financial decisions and inform whoever they need to inform, whether it be external market or a group-wide business. So that's a lot of what the job is. But part of the reason why I like being a financial business partner is it then allows me to feel more tangible results, because even though there's a lot of sort of financial reporting aspects to my role, the partnering aspect of seeing business cases and going into commercial meetings to try and tangibly decrease costs within the business, or sort of sales incentive plans, and sort of developing them, there's a lot more tangible results as well that gets generated in amongst all the financial reporting aspects of my role. There we are. Hopefully you found that interesting. Why did I move from different areas of this house? Well, I'm actually on a holiday with my family at the moment. You might have seen someone behind me, my sister. Basically, I'm on a holiday. I'm trying to find a place to record. I've ended up outside. Hopefully that doesn't affect the quality of this video. Might have sounded very windy. Anyway, there we are. Hopefully you found that interesting. If you did find that interesting, you want to know more sort of financial accounting, career orientated videos, that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be making. One video every Sunday, hopefully. Whether I get this out on a Sunday, I need to edit it. It's Saturday today. We'll see. Hopefully you found that entertaining, interesting. If you did, please do subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next week, next Sunday, for another video. Bye bye.